Welcome back from that quick timeout. It's still Daybreak here on Trust TV, and it's time for our phone-in segment where we'd get to have your say on our topic of discussion this morning. Today, like I introduced before we went on break, we're going to be talking about, data consumption, the cost of data, and how you are coping as Nigerians. Now, the recent increase in telecom tariffs has placed a heavy burden on Nigerians who are already struggling with the economic hardship. Now, with data and call costs soaring, many are forced to cut back on internet usage, affecting businesses, education, and daily communication. The high cost of staying connected is now a major concern for many millions of Nigerians across the country. To buttress and lay more emphasis on this, let us take a look at this report by Abdulmumini Aisha on the cost of data.
Amidst economic challenges, residents of the Federal Capital Territory are grappling with the rising cost of data, forcing many, especially youths, to rethink their internet usage. Some FCT residents expressed frustration over how the hike has negatively impacted their businesses and social interactions, attributing the issue not only to the government but also to telecom providers.
What I do now, like I said, I don't recharge anymore. I use my office Wi-Fi to do whatever I want to do. Over the weekend, I can just wait till Monday. I don't know what NUC or whether the government agencies are doing, but they should be blamed. The government should be blamed because we don't know what's happening. Majority of people now don't recharge anymore. I'm telling you the truth. They just buy this normal dongle or this Wi-Fi stuff and then attach to their phone. Nobody's recharging for data anymore.
Sometimes I think I used to do whether it's 500 for 2.5 gig, knowing that I will use it for the whole day. But now, if I want to do, I can't do that 500 naira only again for 2 days. It lasts for 2 days, 2.5 gig. Now I'm doing 1,000 naira for, I think, 3.5 gig. Even for my POS, I realized that sometimes when I recharge, normally I do monthly for, I think, 1,000 naira for 1.2 gig. But now, I realized that when I want to recharge, I think it's now 1.5. It's affecting me, honestly.
Like if I want to watch a movie in my house, I'll just subscribe. Small. Once the movie finish, I'll off it. In my phone, the same thing. If I went online within a short period, I'll just off my data.
The tariff increase has led many customers to purchase smaller data plan, limiting their internet access and placing them in a difficult situation. While citizens lament the effect of high data costs, tech expert Awal Abdullahi provided insight on how to optimize data usage.
We need, and we don't oversubscribe. Number two, we need to make sure that at least even the data that we're buying, we're using it most efficiently. So when you look at it, number one, there's also the issue of what we call bandwidth on demand. This is something that many Nigerians are not aware. I remember some times back, people are clamoring for DSTV to be a prepaid service. But when you look at it, as much as your voice on GSM is prepaid, but your data is not prepaid, because data, whether you use it or you don't use it, after that 1 month validity, it expires. So the question is that, can we push for all those operators to begin to do bandwidth on demand, which means is that as at when I need it, that is when I'm going to use it.
Also explained that foreign exchange fluctuations and the depreciation of the Nigerian naira are key factors driving the price hike. According to him, while the NCC has approved a data rollover policy, there are restrictions on the amount of data that can be rolled over and the time frame which it must be used.
And I know pretty well NCC have done great in trying to make sure they check the excesses of the telecom operators such that all this data lost cannot be so rampant, because I can tell you it's very simple. If telecom operators want to make dirty money, let me put it that way, it is very simple. There's a way they can tinker and then manipulate their billing system or billing software, and the rest is history.
While many argue they are now paying more for less data, underlying economic factors continue to shape the situation. Abdulmuminu Aisha, Trust TV News, Abuja.
I believe that should alone, streamline your thoughts towards what the cost of data is how Nigerians are coping. But in the long run, we want to hear from you. How are you coping with the cost of data? What have you had to make a personal adjustment, to how much you spend, or your monthly budget for data and essential services? Have you had to prioritize certain online activities over the others? So the other day they said, just watch movie and off her data. We saw those that said that, or the young man who said that he turns off his data through the weekend and uses the office Wi-Fi through the week. So we want to hear from you. The phone lines are open. The numbers will be displayed on your screen shortly. What's your take on what is your data consumption like in Nigeria today? How is it affecting you? How much are you spending? And have you decided to use data any less due to the cost? Well, the phone lines are open and the numbers will be displayed on your screen shortly. Or you could also send us WhatsApp messages to the numbers as well on your screen, and we'll be here to take them. But looking at a brief analysis into it all, in January 2025, the Nigerian Communications Commission approved 50% tariff increase for telecommunications operators to address rising operational costs, and the decision led to substantial adjustments in data plan pricing across various providers. But let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. I can hear you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. This is Mr. Dogood calling from Port Harcourt.
Good morning, Mr. Dogood. How is Port Harcourt at the moment, especially cool. With Fubara and Wiki?
Yes, it's cool. Yes, everything is cool. God will help us out. Yes, going to the topic. This telecommunication is like they are allowed in this country. When they say A, they do A. When they say B, they do B without knowing the impact it's impacting on people in using it. This telephone is just of recent in Nigeria. South Africa is using it all this while. We don't see all this system increase in South Africa or other places. Why Nigeria is like this? They increase telecommunication, they increase NEPA, they increase gas, they increase petrol. In this hard time, this government don't have pity on their people that are ruling. So they want to kill all of us to die. Who will they rule? I just imagine. Everything increase. Increase food is increased. Fuel. Every part of the whole thing is increase. And this increase, what are they doing with the money? Okay, for subsidy, where is the money going to? For God's sake, what's happening? And what's the matter? Our labor, who are the head, they'll say stop this or don't stop this. They'll come out and make noise. They go inside and sit down, and that's the make noise. Still will increase. Nothing will happen. So I don't know where we're going to. This country is messing us up. So our government, both president and vice president, they should look into themselves well. And all our reps in House and Senate and representative, they should look themselves well because they are not doing anything good. This will bounce back on them in due time. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dogood. God bless you. Thank you for your contribution there this morning. It's across board. The cost of data, the cost of living is affecting Nigerians across board. But I had this question. If you're a small business owner who relies on data consumption to run your business, especially if you run an online business, please do also call in and let's hear your thoughts. Let's take the next call we have this morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Lilian. You are speaking with Shetima Yakudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. How is Maiduguri this morning?
Maiduguri, Alhamdulillah, we thank God. Allah, Maiduguri is peace. Maiduguri is cool. So, about data consumption, how do we cope? So, Lina, it's not easy.
True.
It's not easy. These things have affected each and every one. if you are a businessman, you are a victim of data consumption. If you are a student, you are a victim of data consumption. If you are a civil servant, you can't do without data. So, but the problem is we are buying data, but we don't have efficient service to use the data. You buy data, and the data will go without using it effectively. This is where the corruption lies. This is where the extortion lies. You see, how can you sell somebody data without efficient service? And at the end of the day, when the time is, they will hijack the data. I don't know which kind of operations are they doing, or because they have a conducive atmosphere to extort us, or you see, it's very unfortunate, and no authority that is challenging them. They do what they want to do. Most of the time, even to communicate, it will become a problem. Now, how many days I want to contribute, but without even getting it. That's the fundamental problem that we're having. Let them sanitize the atmosphere. Let them sanitize the environment. Let the services be effective before they think of the increase. I was surprised. Our legislators, our lawmakers, they have warned these companies not to increase this thing, but they go ahead and increase it. This is a slap to the face of our democracy. It's very, very unfortunate. We the citizens, you see, we become just we don't have power to do anything. But the people that we voted into power, even they talk, nobody is listening to them. It's very, very unfortunate, and the laxity is from them. They cannot enforce. They can only talk, give instruction without making sure that instruction that you give, it has been into effect. So what we are calling is for the data that the money is too much. What they are charging is too much, and we are not seeing the services. It's just we are making elephant payment and mosquito services. These things have to be looked into. This is the worrisome of all Nigerians. You see, this exploitation is too much. It's too high. We are calling for them to look into it. Thank you so much. This is my text.
Thank you very much, Shatima. You have indeed spoken the mind, if I must say, of a couple of our callers this morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, which is what he has said, the cost of data does not equate the service given. I have fiber optic in my home, the Wi-Fi service, and no doubt the subscription has increased from the amount it used to be. It has drastically increased, and I'm still open to subscribing to it because it saves me a lot more compared to doing the regular data that has increased as well. But I got to realize a couple of days ago that the network just doesn't work during the day, and when I called, they told me it's because of heat. I was confused. Heat is affecting it. They said the weather is hot, probably why it's malfunctioning, and it's something they've noticed. But the services I'm paying for, I am not getting it, which is the same thing Nigerians across board are complaining of. The cost of data doesn't equate the service being provided, and we clearly remembered when the House of Representatives and the Senate came out to say, if you're going to be increasing this thing, make sure that the quality of services being rendered are top notch, which Nigerians deserve. If they're going to be paying more, they have to pay more for quality service. But it seems like the paying more came without the second attachment to it. Now let's take a look at some of the sudden increase in data plan. For people who used to do the 350 Naira data plan for 1 gig, it's gone. It's now 500 Naira for 1 gig for a day. For those who are used to doing the 600 Naira data plan for 2 gig, it used to be 500 data plan for 2 gig for 2 days. It has now increased to depending on 900 Naira data for 2 days or 750 naira data for 2 days. 900 is 2.5 gig, 750 naira is 2 gig. And for those who used to do the I believe it used to be 1,000 naira for 1 week, which is what that POS lady spoke about, for 1 week to give you, I can't remember the particular amount, but it's 1,000 naira, but it's now 1,500 naira for 7 gig for 1 week. So it has increased across board. So aside that, if you're looking at the large data plan, which is the 15 gig weekly that used to go for 2,000, is now 6,000 naira. That one saw a 200% increase. And 100 gig that was 20,000 is now going for 25,000. For those who use in the likes of terabytes, you have a 1.5 terabyte that used to be 150,000, now going for 240,000 naira. A massive increase across board, from the dailies to the weeklies to the monthly data plan. But what's your take? How are you coping? Let's take the next call we have. Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I am Abakar Mohammed from Barakiladi, Plateau State.
Good morning, Abakar. How is Plateau this morning?
Right, all fine, all is well.
All right, go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah. It's about this data we're facing, not even data, even the tariff we are buying when you want to call, the exhaust you, especially ears and all that things. You call, do you not even hear somewhere what your other party is saying, and your money is going. Likewise, same thing data. In fact, I don't know what our leaders are doing. They're explaining in terms of oil, petrol, NEPA. This, how are we going to survive this, for God's sake? What kind of injustice is this? All they know is they are just to get the money within their family and all that. While the masses that will vote for them, they don't even care about them. All they know is themselves. May God have mercy on our leaders. By God's grace, one day everything is going to be by history, because these people are heartless. They don't have human feelings at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much there indeed. He has said that the suffering is cutting across board, and the fact that data is inclusive is a problem to Nigerians. And we know how important data is for Nigerians, especially with how, the world is becoming socially and digitally connected. So most of the times, they've made, I think it was Dr. Theophilus Abba who spoke about it, talking about how, they have made, each sector has made Nigerians so dependent on the usage of internet to access services. You come from banking sector where they're trying to move to online banking and cashless society. You need data sometimes to access your bank apps and do online transaction. You have some firms, even registration for NYC and certain university registration, you need to do it online. And if you're tech savvy, you can simply do it with your phone, and you still need data for it. We have online business owners who use data, to post their businesses online, acquire sellers and buyers through, ordering of goods online. Data connectivity, just to say, is integral to the lives of every Nigerian, from facilitating commission to business operation, even students in terms of education, to access of ability to access information. And increased costs seems to have posed challenges of affordability and accessibility. Potentially, how bad is this for the digital divide in Nigeria? Know that we had a certain level of, percentage of people who were off internet and digital services. Would this worsen that? Let's take the next call we have. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. I'm Abdullah Abubakar calling from Makodi, Food Basket of Benue State.
Good morning, Abdullah. How is Makodi this morning?
Makodi is extremely good.
Go ahead.
You see, the issue of data has made our children education so difficult. You see, these days, education has to be, most education has to be online. Our children now cannot buy one data and solve their problem or their assignment in the school. And the lawmakers, the federal government, they are less concerned about it. Why? Because there's a special package for them. And so since they enjoy the special package, they don't listen to the poor. Because they don't pay pay that. They don't buy data. They don't pay electricity bill. They don't pay house rent. They don't buy fuel. You see, they don't do any of the network. They don't pay. That is why they are less concerned about us. What I will advise our Nigerians, please, we should put everything in prayer. Both the Muslim and Christian, we should put everything in prayer. If not, these people, they are heartless. Whenever they are on that sick, their concern is not on us. Their concern is within themselves. Their children, they will buy data 3,000, 5,000 naira to their children because they have the money. Our children pay exorbitant high rate of light bill in the school. They pay transportation to the school. They buy data in a high rate. How do you think our children will cope up? So my advice to our Nigerian fellow is, please, we should put everything in prayer. If not, these people, no matter what we do, we cannot push them out. Because they have a special negotiation between them and the company. Because they enjoy a special package. So they enjoy a special package. No matter what we talk in the media, we are just expressing our concern about it. If not, they will not do anything.
All right.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much there for your thoughts all the way from Makodi. Thank you for joining us. Well, he has said that in as much as we're looking at what the government, we should also put the nation in prayers. Yes, while we're putting the nation in prayers, we should remember that God has given us will, and also get your voter's card when the time is right to vote out whatever grievance you have against the government. But we have a couple of WhatsApp messages, and we'll take that through the course of the show. So keep them coming. We're definitely going to take them before we round up the segment. Let's take the next call. Good morning.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Nasir MD Rawaya Cafe from Gusau, Zamfara State.
Good morning, Nasir. How is Zamfara this morning?
Zamfara, we are all doing fine, Auntie.
It's good to know. Go ahead with your thoughts.
It's a very interesting program that really concerns all Nigerians, mostly we the youth. The expensive of this time around is getting worse. In fact, this time around, before I normally buy 2 to 3 gig that will last for me at least maybe a week. But now I do manage a half gig. Imagine, I don't have any option than to download the application that normally sells data, just to have a reduction of at least 90 naira. That's just the difference between those that are selling the data and you that you will download application and fund the application, thereby you will buy your own data. But personally, by my own business, I'm having cafe, so I normally buy almost 5 gig that will last me maybe 2 weeks. But now I just have to manage it to be 2 to 3 gig per week. Imagine, and the lasting of that data is different of before, because now just if you are using 1 gig or 2 gig, just a little browsing will cost you a lot of gigs that will just end in the air. Imagine it will just go as if you did not buy anything. So in fact, it really affects my business, and personally it really affects my personal affairs. Therefore, federal government has a lot to do to tackle this issue, to at least talk with the service providers and maybe reduce the levy and their charges and their taxes that government are collecting from them, to talk with them. What is the problem? Why are you always hiking this issue, this data issue, so that we the masses of Nigeria will have peace of mind and will have a rest of mind that in the data to make our own daily business and make our own daily information, to get information and to pass some crucial and very important matters across family and friends. So data is very, very vital. It's very, very important to all Nigeria. So we need for government to at least tackle this issue. Thank you very much. I still remain Nasir MD Rawaya Cafe from Gusau, Zamfara State. Trust TV. Have a pleasant working hour.
Thank you very much, Nasir. Thank you so much. I was actually looking forward to someone who runs a cafe or relies on data for business, and you did call in and filled that spot perfectly, especially talking about how much you spend on data for your cafe and for your personal use and how it has affected your business. Thank you for sharing that, first-hand experience with us. We do appreciate it, and we hope that you'll find a way around managing your business in such a way that you will still have profit while trying to maximize cost and still deliver the best of services to your client. All right, still on this now. He made mention of the fact that we had, in that report we played, we saw the IT, the tech person, talking about data plan validity. And he said one of the solution is, let the data not expire. Let me have access to my data whenever I need it based on my subscription. If I'm doing a 2 gig subscription and I do not finish it, once the 2 days have expired, should there actually be an expiry date to data? I've done it. Let it be pay as I use. As the more I'm using it, if I don't finish it within that 2 days, I can continue using it beyond the 2 days. That should be not asking me to renew on the same data plan to have access to the remaining one, thereby adding more to it. No doubt you can roll over, but what if I don't have money to want to roll over? I just want to continue using my data. Are there certain tweaks to these data services you think should be done to enhance usage and cushion the fact that the prices are now double of what it used to be? The phone lines are open, and do well to send in messages on WhatsApp. We'll be here to take them. Now let's take this WhatsApp message from Abraham. It says, well, I don't blame all the lines for increasing data prices. I blame the federal government for not doing what it's supposed to do. Honestly, it's not easy, especially for business owners who need data to run. Tax has literally been placed on everything the average Nigerian finds important. Thank you very much, Abraham, for that. Abraham is saying that if the federal government had created an enabling business environment, I'm putting that in because he says if they had done what they need to do or what they're meant to do, which I believe includes a favorable business environment so that it will be easy for business and companies and firms to run business and provide quality service and affordable service at the same time to the people. Just maybe we won't be seeing this. We have the next message from Paulinus M. Kaswa. He says, good morning, Trust Television. The use of data at my own end is now restricted only to official purpose. Other social and entertainment purposes are hereby suspended because of price hike. Nigerians, let's adjust considering what we are passing through, such as subsidy removal, devaluation of the currency, price hike, poor network, insecurity, and inflation. Thank you so much, Paulinus. Paulinus has basically reflected, saying that he has had to make cuts and restrict his use of data to just official purposes, which we saw someone from the report spoke about the same thing too, saying that, they've had to make price adjustments. We also have another message from Oyibo Moses from Federal Housing in Lugbe. He says, good morning, Trust Television. Good morning to you too. The level of exploitation going on in this country is something else. The painful aspect is Glo will not allow you to use data before it has expired. What kind of wicked and inhuman government is this? All right. Each network their own. We know that each network have their own to it, and it's not just this particular network provider. There are other network providers that have their own restrictions and issues that people are still complaining about. But what you didn't tell us if you've been able to make any cuts or how you are adjusting to it. I mean, would also have loved to hear that. We have the next message from Rabo Mekafi from Kefi. He says, good morning, Lilian. Good morning to you too. The data consumption and the way forward, we have said it early that this government have nothing to offer to Nigerians apart from hike or increase in virtually all aspects of lives. It is disappointing that even as I'm sending this message to you, data is not available. Let them do whatever they want. Nigerians are patiently waiting for them in 2027 elections so as to retaliate on data consumption or usage. That is the spirit, Rabo Mekefi. Your vote is your power. When people come and say, oh, our vote don't count, our vote don't count. If your vote is not important or it doesn't count, they will not buy it. If it's not important or it doesn't count, they will look for a way to disenfranchise people just to rig the election. The politicians will not go all out to hoard money just to spread money on that day. So your vote does count. That card you have holds importance. Until Nigerians speak with one voice, we still have a long way to go. We have another message from Odeyemi Olalekan from Ilori. He says, good morning, my able presenter and the entire Trust TV crew. Thank you. Good morning to you too. This issue of data consumption is just daylight robbery. I bought 2 gig data and checked only my WhatsApp messages and nothing more, and immediately cleared off my data. The government has never done anything that will ease the pain of we the masses, but keep compounding pressure, and it's because they are not paying with their own money. I saw it on one Ghanaian TV where the government of the country was trying to reduce some tariff on about 5 segments to ease the burden on their citizens, but here in Nigeria, it's the other way around. And then one thing we should know about data consumption and data usage is sometimes because of the nature of the Android phone you're using, please check your phone. There are so many things you need to deactivate so as to reduce your data. I didn't know that till I started checking my phone regularly. You deactivate auto downloads of images from messaging platforms, deactivate auto update. Because sometimes if you not done data in a while and you do data, most apps will update themselves automatically, thereby consuming the data you did, and you'll be wondering where it all went to. There are so many applications that might be open on your phone and you have no idea that they are consuming and running on data. So that's one thing you have to be conscious about if you're conscious about your data consumption. You need to check it, know those applications that are constantly consuming data and those that are constantly, updating themselves. But those are the messages we have this morning from everyone. Thank you so much for your messages. Well, we've come to the end of this segment. To everyone who called in, we say thank you so much for your calls and your contributions. We'll be moving to our discussion segments right after the break. Do stay.